girls and boys and men and women and ladies and gentlemen of the BT. It's me, Troi, and I'm here in the second half of my video as it relates to hashtag, I was going to say March Mr. Man Girl, as it relates to hashtag Read So Lit. So we already know Read So Lit is a hashtag that you can use year round. You know, it's applicable anytime you're reading a black author and sharing it on social media. Of course, in the month of February, it's in celebration of Black History Month, so you know there's a little bit more concentration that goes on within this month as regards Read So Lit. So what I decided to do was I made a mixture of books to put in my TBR from my shelves as well as going to the library. I could have just ripped off my shelves, but the library had some books that I really was interested in getting into, and I'm going to share them here. First one, of course, is Unforgivable Love, which I already shared in my previous video. So, you know, Sophriania Scott, yes. So the next two books are two Bernice McFadden books. What is it, L? Yeah, two Bernice McFadden. Oh, I still messing myself up. Two Bernice McFadden books. Now, let me tell y'all something. I've not read Bernice McFadden before. Let me tell you, girl, do not judge my lighthouse, okay? Don't judge my lighthouse. The beacon is here for me. But I was inspired to but I was inspired to just go ahead and, you know, take the plunge from watching KT's video on Bernice McFadden's. I think it was her latest release. I wrote in her comment of KT's channel on that particular video that I was going to go to my library and pick out all the copies available of Bernice McFadden books. At that time it was 4, now there are only 2. I got them, and you know, we're good to go. So the first one is Gathering Waters, which it looks like it's going to be a quick read, but anyway, I'm going to keep it short here. It is inspired by the Emmett Till story, you know, 1955 Emmett Till. I could go into it. We're not going to do it today. Now, the next book, child. Alright, the next book, girl, child, man, boy, people of the world, what people all over the world come together. This is a book that's been spoken about on the BT for years and time again. I've seen Freeform ladies speak about it. I think she was the first one that I've seen speak about it. I think Denise spoke about it. Michael Reed spoke about it. But it is a very popular book. It's been floating around BT forever. Girl, let me tell you, if the Bible is the #1 book ever published and sold, this book is probably number 15th in line, okay? It is that super, hyper, and omega. And that, of course, is the book of Harlan by Bernice McFadden. I told y'all, don't judge my lighthouse. I'm just getting to it. You know, I don't jump on trains, girl, but I know, I don't. So to keep this summary streamlined, just envision black musicians from Mississippi in Paris during the Nazi occupation. Alright, that's it. You can do the rest. But really, y'all already read this book, so I don't even know why I don't even know why I'm trying. So the next book is something that I'm so excited about reading. Let me tell y'all something about me. Like, I'm a loner. Like, you know, I know people or whatever, but like when it comes to going to places, like I don't waste time calling people because I don't have time for people's excuses. So and that's especially so much emphasis on when it's time for me to go to like the library or the used bookstore or the retail chain bookstores in general. I love to go by myself because I literally go and I go to contemporary, mystery, and science fiction and fantasy, and I scan shelf after shelf after shelf. It's not that I'm necessarily looking for anything per se, but you know, like you guys, I'm such a reader that you know, there's something to always to be discovered, you know what I mean? So what I did was I went to the library and I was like, I want another book. I want something that's really gonna catch me. And I did my whole scanning, girl, and I came across this book and I wanted to beat myself over the head for it. I was like, I got to read this. And that is Black Gold by Anita Richmond Bunkley. And here's the cover. The cover is what made me say, you know what, Miss Girl, let me have this book, okay? But anyway, this book, and I'm going to just kind of keep it as best that I could get out of the summary. It is about a wealthy, I think she's like a wealthy black landowner. You know, she has property as it regards farmland, prairie land in the state of Texas, and there's a love triangle between her and 2 other men individuals, okay? But that's kind of besides the point. I think it does tie into the plot, but the actual plot has to do with, you know, this being Texas during the early 20th century. There is a oil rush, an oil fever going on, and all these conniving, greedy men wants to find various places where they can start drilling and making their fortunes. Unfortunately for her, she does fall into their range as a target, her property, her prairie, and then it's up to her to defend her heritage, defend her lineage, defend her property, her estate. I'm so excited about reading this book. You know, it's just one of those books that is really like, I gotta read it. Now, let me tell you something. I'm all about trying a book, okay? I'm all about trying a book, and either, you know, a square is gonna fit in a triangle, or a triangle is gonna fit in a square, something like that. You know what I'm trying to say. So, the point is, although I'm excited, I will be honest about how I feel about it if it's not that good. But I got a good feeling about this book. It's just one of those books that really is calling me. And I can't wait to see her you know what I'm saying, get these men together. Like, you ain't finna be drilling on my property. I hope she have a sawed-off shotgun, too, at the door. Okay, so now at the library, I went to get a mystery book. Now, this book right here, I've always seen it there, but I have like a backlog of black authors in the mystery genre already on my various, like I have like four or five, 4 on my 4 shelves, okay? A backlog of black authors writing in the mystery genre. Y'all know how I am. So this book I've always seen there, but I was like, I'm gonna come and pick it up some other time, because I was like, you know, I know where it is. I have access to it. It's accessible to me at any point. And that book is Gary Phillips' High Hand. This is the first book in his Martha Cheney mystery series. Now, Martha Cheney is a black showgirl. This book takes place in Las Vegas. So, you know, trying to streamline it here, she is getting involved with various grifters and con artists and scammers in this book. I don't necessarily know the threat. I don't necessarily know the murder that's in, you know, that takes place. I try to really not read summaries, but only really when I'm making a video. But I just want to say this, that from what I did read, or what I have gathered, I was getting like, I'm hoping that I receive a sort of Elmore Leonard vibe, you know, think Rum Punch, you know what I'm saying, something like that. But that is what I'm hoping to get out of this book here. And let me tell you, if I do enjoy this book, I will be purchasing my own hardcover for my own personal library, and it will not be a book club. But girl, I cannot stand book club. You know how you... Bye. The last 2 books are fantasy as well as nonfiction. Now, this fantasy book is a book that everybody has spoken about as well. I'm just late on the train, okay? I'm on the caboose. What's the one, like they do, like, girl, I'm on the caboose on this mug right here. But nonetheless, about this book a couple of months ago, and I said, you know, now would be the perfect time to read it. And that is the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. I don't know, girl. N.K. That's just all we know. Anyway, it's a pretty thick book, but I think it's a quick read. So I'm gonna go ahead and be honest with you. I don't know specifically what it's about. Definitely what's it about. I just know it is a pretty popular book, and you know, I've seen a couple of reviews, got a couple of interests, but I don't want to kind of like try to summarize it here until I read it myself. And I'm just gonna say that I like the fact that I'm going into it mostly blind, and I'll see what I get out of it. But you know, everybody seems to like it, so I'm like, you know what, hell, I'll read it too. You know, if there's a black author writing mystery or science fiction or fantasy, you know, other than, you know, contemporary, I think they're all worth the try. You know, those particular genres, I feel like that they struggle with the most as it regards relevancy. So the 5th season, if it's good, I'm gonna go ahead and get the next 2 books. Last book I had to do nonfiction. Now let me tell you, girl, I have a couple of nonfiction books on my shelf that I could read, but I was like, I didn't really want to get into anything too societal or political, really, because I didn't feel like having to go through that reading experience and finding myself enraged. So what I decided was to take, like, maybe you can say a softer approach, you know, the softer side of Sears, okay, and J.C. Penney's. And I chose Life is So Good by George Dawson and Richard girl, I don't know, Danny Glover, okay? But yeah, I chose this book. It is the autobiography of, it was published in 2000, so it's about 19 years, and this man is long gone. But it's about a 103-year-old slave son who only until the age of 98 learned how to read and write. Can we talk about something that's incredibly inspiring to get into? You know, I didn't want to get into the glum reading of politics and society. I just wanted something a little bit more inspirational with only, its own little edge as it regards commentary on what's going on quite frequently here in the United States. We'll just, keep it down. So that is it. I appreciate you guys for being here and joining me. Thank y'all so much. If you read any of these books without spoiling it, give me a comment down below. If you don't feel like commenting, girl, that's good too. It's all good. Anyway, that's it. As always, love yourself. Embrace your individuality. Read all the books that you want to read, because this is about you, okay? Life is about you. Be happy.